Alright, here we go. Captain Price taking it to 3 games in both of his rounds today. Took on Cruz last round, taking on Paul this round. And look at that U.S. Forces pick by Paul against Captain Price's Overcommando West. Picked Oster last game, picked U.S. Forces this game, and he picked Soviets in game 1. Captain S. Price going back to Overcommando West. And of course, Paul was the victory point leader in this series, so he got to choose Axis or Allies, and he chose Allies. And Captain Price then picked Overcommando West, and then Paul's response to his opponent's Overcommando West pick was U.S. Forces on this map rather than Soviets. That was his choice. He counterpicked his opponent and went with U.S. Forces, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. He's gone with Rifle Company, as Paul always does, as U.S. Forces, and is going to start fielding those elite rifles soon. And Captain Price going with the exact same build here of the super early mechanized regiment headquarters. And just single Volksgrenadier squad going to capture territory. Same barbed wire here by the stern piles. Exact same opening. And even though he's had the exact same opening, I'm sure the game's going to evolve very differently against a U.S. Forces opponent than against a Soviet opponent. I am certainly not expecting a Yag Tiger this game, but I guess I don't know what he's going to do. Probably just go straight for KT would be my guess, since he doesn't need to counter the ISU 152. And the elite rifles are making their way onto the battlefield. Riflemen force a retreat from those Volksgrenadiers. Riflemen here, taking control of the north victory point. Rear echelon troops making their way towards the south to get a hold of that munitions. These two squads making their way up to engage riflemen, and Paul has gone with a 4 rifle opening. So probably going to go Captain Tier into a pack howitzer. If any of you are familiar with my other casts of Paul, I've cast him quite a few times as U.S. Forces play, and he very much likes Captain Tier into the pack howitzer. So I fully expect him to do that this game. He's taking full control of the south right now, pretty much unopposed. And Captain Tier is very strong against a mechanized regiment headquarters opening, and I don't know if Captain Price is going to do that well. With Rifle Company, he's got the AT grenades right off the bat. Once he has his captain on the field, he's going to have those bazookas with which to fire at that flag half-track, and it may not have that dramatic of an impact. I think Paul, first of all, knows exactly what Captain Price is going to do from game 1 and everything else he has done this tournament. And firmly believes, I think, that his Rifle Company build is going to shut Captain S. Price down hard. Let's see if that happens. Captain Tier should counter this flag half-track. He'll have access to the AT gun if he so desires. And with the bazookas and AT grenades, might be difficult to have a dramatic impact with that flag half-track. In fact, in his game against Paul's Soviets, the flag half-track didn't do that much. He kind of defended the VP a little bit, just kind of parked it right here on this intersection. Didn't really end up getting that many kills with it. It was Vet 1 when it died 45 minutes into the game. So I'm not sure what I think about Captain Price getting that flag half-track against Rifle Company Captain Tier. Paul's gonna grab that captain, follow that purchase up with the ambulance, and he continues to just work the victory points, forcing Volksgrenadiers to retreat here in the south. riflemen at range, and rear echelon troops here in the south. There they go. Hope they get away. Those riflemen on their retreat path, they might get cut down. Didn't get any lucky shots, I don't think. And that wire will, of course, prevent him from chasing. And that's all his own wire, in fact. Flak half-track hits the field and will chase away 2 infantry squads here on the fuel point. Folks Grenadiers in this building are going to screen against these riflemen for a little while, so Captain Price holds only 4 strategic points right now. But his flak half-track's on the field, and he's gotten up to 2 command points quite quickly. And the captain is on the field. Riflemen moving up from the base, trying to get these Sturm Pioneers out of the building. Flak half-track laying fire on riflemen down there. They will be prompted to retreat. And Paul will retreat his captain as well for more healing here by the ambulance. It's going to be cooling down for a little while, and it looks like Paul's simply going to send these 3 squads to the north to try and maintain the right side victory point rather than engaging here by the house directly. It's quite difficult to engage effectively at this house.
We now have parachute flares to scout enemy positions.
And Captain Price actually fully retreated after Paul disengaged, and the center is now completely uncontested, which is kind of funny.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green as green can be. Well, grab your shit.
3 squads of riflemen here. This squad.
All right, you dopes, listen up. Anyone get on that flank? Bust out the metal, boys.
Capture point is under attack.
Hiding behind these bushes, going to start firing on those Volksgrenadiers there. These 2 squads making their way to the north will start engaging Panzer Fusiliers. Only 1 squad on the field so far, because he actually went with the Raketenwerfer, changing his build a little bit to prepare himself for an early light vehicle, and indeed Paul has gone with the Stuart. I know for a fact that Paul does not like the Stuart. He says the M20 is better to accomplish the exact same job. But obviously, when you go captain tier, beggars can't be choosers. And of course, against this flak half-track, it's huge. Here it comes. Oh, it's so out of position. Shell shock. It's not even moving. And there's the stun. Doesn't have Vet 1 for smoke. Raketenwerfer's nicely placed. Stuart gets clear of the arc of fire. 1 more shot. Oh no, it's not 1 more shot. Wow, main gun destroyed. Is that Stuart really going to survive? Wow, I cannot believe it. I can't believe that Stuart's gonna get away for free. Beautiful Raketenwerfer placement from Captain Price. His anti-tank weapon replacement this tournament has been saving him time and time again. This game's no exception, but that Stuart getting away with the main gun destroyed crit has gotta be frustrating. It has got to be frustrating. Paul got a lucky break this time. Let's see what happens next time he goes in on that flak half-track. He's not going to get another huge opportunity like that. Now that Captain Price knows about the Stuart, there's no shock value left for that unit. He's going to have to utilize that a lot more carefully, too. A lot more carefully.
Area secured. Okay, that does it.
Stuart's been repaired, making its way towards the south. Again, Paul holds the whole map. Huge map control. Paul's map control early on, Axis and Allies, is just so powerful. Captain Price really seems to struggle in the early game for map control. Not just against Paul, against everyone he's faced. Really. He just does not play that early map control game. And that's partly because of that really crazy early purchase of that mechanized regiment headquarters. And he's just kind of got to struggle back into the game from that point forward. Makes big plays with those AT guns against the early light vehicles or the Sherman or whatever it is. Very patient player. A lot of flamethrowers just got upgraded on Paul, Paul's rifleman. That flak half-track on the field, though, the risk of them exploding is quite high. Raketenwerfer is available to support the flak half-track. Stewart finds an opening, though. That's a big opening. Flak half-track is being monitored and will reposition to a slightly more safe location. Stewart's not going in too hard. Captain in the building might land some lucky bazooka shots. None have connected yet. Stewart is not going in hard, not going in at all. Flak half-track is not going to fire on those riflemen, but simply disengage and let the riflemen and Panzer Fusiliers do the job of clearing that squad off the field. Not a single bazooka shot has connected with that flak half-track yet either. That captain is just needs to learn to aim.
Enemy flamethrower! Support package received.
Flak half-track's gonna run over some razor wire. I like this razor wire from Paul. You never see this. Flak half-track has to be sent down here just to drive over some wire, significantly slowing down Price's advance to these munitions down here. Razor wire going down here as well, blocking that approach off, making things annoying for Price to have to deal with. Shutting down all of his infantry movements. He continues to have his opponent triple capped. Stern Pioneers in the south are going to get those VPs under control. Price very much needs to slow down that VP drain. Paul almost has a 200-point lead on him already. Stewart's trying to make a play against the flak half-track again. He's going to have to disengage, though. It's not happening. Wow, look at that abandonment! Raketenwerfer way in the back, snipes the Stewart. This one's going to have to retreat. Folks, Grenadiers could recover this. Throwing a grenade first. Oh, late dodge. Flak half-track suppresses the rifleman. Look at this play. Look at it. Is CaptainSPrice really going to recover a Stewart here? I think he is. Oh no. There he goes. He's recovered it. Moving that back into his base for repairs. That could not have gone worse. That could not have gone worse at all. Paul's 3 command points from his EZ-8, still has excellent map control, but losing that Stewart has robbed him of his ability to destroy the flak half-track. He will now be relying on AT guns, I assume, if he chooses to purchase one. Of course, once his first EZ-8 arrives, he'll have an extremely powerful weapon against both of these light vehicles. But until that time, he's probably going to lose a lot of map control. That squad will be forced to retreat here. Rear echelon troops making their way forward have repaired the fighting position, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that before. There's a fighting position here doing a good job of suppressing Price's infantry here in the middle. Riflemen are moving up to engage as well. And it looks like that Stewart's doing okay, taking out rifleman models. But I'm not sure this captain has landed a single hit with those bazookas yet. It's the worst accuracy with those bazookas. Volks Grenadiers taking control of the fuel point here, and Stern Pioneers grabbing the fuel point here in the south. Ooh, ouch. So much for those rear echelon troops. Paul has actually gone major into a Jackson. He has such a huge fuel income that he can afford to do that and still probably almost make it to EZ-8 by the time he has 9 command points, depending on how engagements go. But only if he can maintain fuel control, which he is rapidly losing because of the loss of his Stewart. He's losing both fuel points simultaneously and losing control of this cutoff. Jackson on the field. If he can make big plays with this Jackson on the flak half-track or stolen Stewart, might be able to come back into this game a little bit. White phosphorus. Ooh, that was a nice spread of white phosphorus. What is Price doing? Late reaction. Jackson blasts the Stewart hard. bleeding these riflemen though, up to 8 kills already. Jackson wants to move up to seal the deal. Those Reckenwerfers are retreating. He had a huge opening there. He definitely should have chased very aggressively. I guess he didn't want to take engine damage from these Panzer Fusiliers in his way. He definitely could have destroyed that, but at the same time, he's being patient. If he's overly aggressive twice in a row and hands his opponent a Jackson too, I don't think there will be any coming back. Just gonna play it safe for now.
Squad back to full strength.
Jackson heading towards the fuel point, crushing some razor wire. Pulling back a little bit, trying to be more careful. Stewart's gonna look for an opportunity. Don't forget, by the way, that Stewart's got shell shock. It's got shell shock. If that Stewart were to shell shock that Jackson, leaving it vulnerable to double Reckenwerfer, who knows what might happen. I'm really curious to see how CaptainSPrice uses that Stewart. Jackson's getting a little aggressive here. Doesn't take any Reckenwerfer fire. It's going straight in on that flak half-track. There's the shell shock. It pulls back behind the corner, though. I don't think the Reckenwerfers have a line. Not sure what's going to happen here. White phosphorus will screen that Jackson's retreat a little. Jackson shot firing through the smoke does not connect. Stewart doing significant damage to that Jackson. Jackson misses 2 consecutive shots. All these retreating formations through the white phosphorus are taking huge damage, though. It's going to take a little while to heal that up on the Reckenwerfers. The Vet 3 Volksgrenadiers will heal on their own. Fresh rear echelon troops are going to harass the south, and Paul's victory point lead is growing. He's not been able to take out any priority targets with that Jackson. But he's managing the threat of Price's light vehicles quite well. And using that to secure victory point control. The question, of course, is how is Paul going to respond to this Jagdpanzer? Once that Jagdpanzer hits the field, his Jackson's not going to be nearly as free to make those aggressive maneuvers against the Stewart and flak half-track. Stewart is being used quite effectively as a counter-harassment vehicle so far. It's up to Vet 1 now as well. Makes those rear echelon troops retreat. Forces here in the north will probably be able to secure control of this victory point, however. And the clock's just going to keep on ticking against Price. A little slowly at the moment, but it's ticking. Might even see a squad wipe here. There's BARs on this squad. Not quite. Flak half-track moves up to screen and suppresses those riflemen. They'll be forced to get out of there. And the Jackson's been fully repaired and is making its way back to the front lines to engage the flak half-track, but with this Jagdpanzer on the field, Paul's gonna have to be very careful. He will have to be very careful. Whoa. Big flak burst. Jagdpanzer gets a nice hit. That Jackson's super vulnerable. One more shot. Oh, main gun destroyed. Does not matter. It doesn't even matter. Reckenwerfer finishes it off with a super long range hit right there, and the Jagdpanzer was giving chase. Even that main gun destroyed crit could not save Paul's Jackson. He's handed over his Stewart, lost his Jackson, but now there's an easy 8 on the field. If he tries to make a play against this Jagdpanzer right now, he might be able to surprise Paul a little bit, but that Stewart moving up does still have access to shell shock. Easy 8's taking heavy damage and is going to disengage here. I don't even know if it's going to get away. Stewart just activated shell shock, but turret rotation caused it to run out. Doesn't matter. Jagdpanzer blasts that Easy 8 from range. And all of Paul's vehicles have been destroyed, and he still hasn't fielded an AT gun to help him even the odds. CaptainSPrice's Reckenwerfers. Wow, is that the game? That is the game! That is the game, and CaptainSPrice is still the king! He is still the king! Good game. Axis wins.